Thank you. Welcome to listen the presentation about OptiFreeze. My name is Eda Demir Westman. I'm the CEO at OptiFreeze. I'm involved in the company since the beginning, and in 2014, when we were listed at Aksitori at that time, now it's Spotlight, I was the first employee at the company. So my background is in food technology, engineering, and nutrition. And I will talk about, in general, of OptiFreeze and what are we doing now. So in OptiFreeze, we have a patented technology that can preserve the taste, shape, and the texture of fruits, vegetables, and plant materials throughout the freezing and thawing process. The same technology enables us to extend the shelf life of fresh cut fruits and vegetables, as well as the plant materials like flower cuttings. It's called stickling in Swedish. And right now we are testing if it's applicable on different products like cut flowers. The same technology can be applied on dried products, for instance, dried herbs or dried fruits and vegetables. This time the aim is to reduce the drying time and preserve the aroma and the quality parameters much better. So the technology opens new business opportunities for the food and plant propagation industry in all around the world. The company was founded in 2011 by the scientists at Food Technology Department in Lund University. I'm not one of the founders, but I'm almost there since the beginning. And also one of the founder is Arkoroma Pure, located in Lund as well. So we are located in Lund, and we have 8 employees at the moment. And our technology is based on a patented technology. We were listed on Spotlight stock market in 2014, and since then we have started our physical activities. So our technology, I would like to describe now what is the basic principles of the technology. We have 2 innovative steps. The first step is called vacuum infusion. Plant materials are often porous structures, so it means that they have air inside the products. With vacuum infusion, what we are doing is we are taking out the air from the products, and instead of air, we infuse the desired solution, whatever you would like to infuse into porous structures of fruits, vegetables, or plant materials. But vacuum infusion is not enough for us to go into the cells of plant materials. So as a second step, we expose the plant materials to a high voltage but short time pulses, to an electric field, we expose them. And we can create in this way some pores on the cell membrane, so we can open some gates for the solution, so the surrounded solution can go inside the cells. So this solution contains natural sugars or some additives like vitamins, minerals that are helping cells to extend their shelf life. So it is some kind of energy boosts for the cells. And after the treatment is done, the cells are closing themselves and the treatment is complete. So you can reach actually the plant cells in 2 innovative steps. And what are the benefits of this technology? In general, of course, we increase the quality of products. For example, in this picture, you see the spinach that is treated with OptiFreeze technology, and the control is not treated. Both of them were frozen, and after taking out from the freezer, we defreeze them, and you can see how the treated spinach looks like. Normally, when you go to a supermarket and buy spinach, their quality is quite bad. And they collapse because they die during the freezing process. So OptiFreeze technology can preserve the freshness. So we can prolong the shelf life of fresh products. For example, fresh cut fruits, mango, apples, pineapple, they have quite short shelf life. Once they are cut in a package, then their shelf life is around 7 days or 6-7 days. With our technology, we can increase it up to 14 days, means that we can increase the shelf life 100%. We can also, for the dried products, we can speed up the drying process, means that we can reduce the drying time, and we can preserve aroma, color, and texture of dried products much better. When it comes to plant materials, which is our focus now, I will come to that soon, that we can improve the growing performance of plant materials. And in general, we can reduce the waste, and we save energy, time, and goods. So we contribute to global sustainability with our technology. I think this is the most important benefit of our technology, since the reduction of waste is the hot topic in the market for all, especially for the big players. That is in all the big players' agenda to how to reduce the waste and improve the sustainability. OptiFreeze is offering a great solution for that. So our business idea, what we are offering production lines that are quite much customized. So you see a vacuum infusion treatment system and pulse electric treatment system. Together these two is called OptiCept. So we sell the machines to food producers, manufacturers, or plant propagation industry where they produce the goods. We also offer to our customers, offer them to additives that are being used during the process, which is unique to each product. So if you are treating a flower cutting, we are using a special recipe for that flower cutting. That actually our competence is very good in finding the special recipes for each product. So we offer our customers our know-how and the technology in general. So if one customer comes and says that, great, you are able to treat mango and apple, but we also want to treat this X product, then our method developers are working on method optimization for the new product, and we can find the recipe for the new product. So we have 4 application areas, and it's called OptiFlower, where we focus on flower cuttings and cut flowers. In this OptiFlower segment, we have done the innovation, we have done the marketing, and after proof of concept and some pilot tests, last year in September, we sold our first system to one of our customers, which is called Syngenta. So the system is installed at their farm in Kenya now, and our aim in OptiFlower segment, where we are heading, is to make this application an industrial standard for the whole flower industry, and later on with the plant industry. In OptiDry, we have done a proof of concept and pilot tests, and then we are aiming to make the sales. In OptiFresh and OptiFreeze, we are much behind than other application areas, and we are reaching to do proof of concepts and pilot tests. So if we talk about OptiFlower segment in specific, what is the problem in this segment? So obviously, the short lifetime of flower cuttings is a big problem. Often they have 4 days of shelf life after they are harvested from mother plants, and the farms are located in Africa or South America, and the market is Europe, North America, Japan, or China. So once they are harvested from mother plants, they need to be shipped immediately to Europe for the market, or to North America. And if they have 4 days of shelf life, it means that there is a lot of loss during the transportation, and sometimes they reach here in a bad condition, where the greenhouse owners don't want to buy the products anymore if they look bad. So our technology can extend from 4 days up to 2 weeks, 3 weeks in some cases, so we can extend the lifetime up to 250%. This is what we can do at the moment. Our aim with our customer and partner, actually I will come to that as well, is to extend it, try to find if we can extend the lifetime even longer. And after this treatment, we have also observed that the rooting of flower cuttings are much better, much faster. It means that the flowers, once you plant it in the soil, it will take shorter time to become a real plant and put it in the market. So it saves a lot of time because they have better growing performance as well. And they look much better, much uniform leaves. It's very important in the flower industry. Once the cuttings are planted in the soil, they need to look uniform and the same size on the leaves. And our treatment also helps to get a uniform looking over a tray. Here you can see on the pictures how controlled and treated cuttings look like after storing 10 days in the fridge. We have done this treatment in our premises in Lund, which means that we have received 4 days after the harvesting. So after 14 days, you can see how the treated cuttings with OptiFreeze, they look like fresh, and they are, when we plant them, they are actually growing, while control is not growing, or while they are giving a lot of loss there. In OptiFlower segment, when you look at the product portfolio, we have worked with 5 different flower cuttings, but there are more ahead that we need to work with. At the moment, we are working 4 new flower cuttings as well. And these cuttings are the most important cuttings in the industry, or where they have the biggest market size in the industry. When we look at the OptiFlower market, we know that 2.5 billion flower cuttings are sold each year around the world. And as I said, they are often harvested in Africa or South America. In Europe, it's only in Portugal. And the market is in the United States and Europe and China, Japan. So it takes quite a time to send the product on the market, which our method can actually help to change the logistic plans when the products are shipped. And in the market, there are 5 big players, and we are in contact with all these 5 big players. While with one of them is called Syngenta, we have signed a partnership agreement in February 2019. So Syngenta is one of the world's leading agricultural company. They are one of the best in the world when it comes to flower cuttings. And we have started to work with them by the end of 2017. And the beginning of 2019, we ended up with a great deal about our partnership. And our partnership is focusing on developing recipes for different kind of cuttings. We are together with Syngenta defining a market strategy to approach all the parties in the market. Since we haven't given any exclusivity to Syngenta, so we are allowed to go to other competitors and advertise our technology and sell our systems. So we are starting up the cooperations with interested third parties. And together with Syngenta, we are aiming to find new business applications for OptiFreeze technology. For instance, in the flower and plant industry, for instance, with cut flowers or seeds or other products. For example, vegetable and fruits are also produced sometimes from cuttings. So we would like to also find new application areas for our technology. And what is it in for OptiFreeze? What is it in for Syngenta flowers? And what is it in for the flower industry? So for OptiFreeze, this deal is good because we can approach the flower market and we can make a smooth start together with Syngenta. And we have created a revenue system based on added values together with Syngenta. Means that the added value is going to come back to OptiFreeze as royalty income. We are doing a long-term strategy by signing up this agreement with Syngenta, and the approach is to collaborate in the long term with Syngenta. For Syngenta, what is it in? Of course, it's for them it's important to have this kind of innovative projects, since it's fitting into their core projects that is called sustainability. So they will be able to lower their production costs by applying our technology. This will increase the added value on products. And of course, the yield will be increased for the products. And they can choose the new logistic options. For example, at the moment, they have to choose the closest plane for shipping the flower cuttings once they are harvested. But if they apply our treatment, then they can choose the cheapest flight, or if we can extend it even longer, they can choose the way of shipping by ships. And for the flower industry, of course, this technology is offering an increased quality and new logistic solutions. Also, one of the biggest challenge in the flower industry is to manage the peak seasons for flower cuttings or flower industry. Once they have a lot of production and when there is no demand in the market, they would like to store their products 1 week, 2 weeks more, so they can have a much more smooth peak curves. And the most important that this project will increase the sustainability on the flower industry. Only during the transportation for flower cuttings, the loss is 10%. This is only during transportation. And most of the loss is when the greenhouse owners are rejecting the products, returning the products. So instead of wasting these products, OptiFreeze technology can make them alive. And if we look at the revenue model at OptiFreeze, how do we earn money? And we have made an estimation about if we, in OptiFlower segment, if we sell one machine, how much we will get for 5 years of period. We get the money once we sell the OptiCept, the machines, and we receive an income when we sell the OptiCap, that is the additives. We also receive royalties, which is actually the main part of our income when it comes to this project. So we have estimated that the earning for one machine will be around between 7.5 to 15 million Swedish kron over a 5 times period, and the most of the parts will come from royalties. When we look at the other application areas, our focus will remain this year also on OptiFlower segment, and we have some focus on OptiDry, and we will also focus this year on OptiFreeze segment, because we have been struggling with some issues in OptiFreeze segment where we had to understand what we are doing is okay with the laws, and we have asked the European authorities if our technology is changing the products significantly or not. And we have got the answer from the European authorities that no, it's not a novel food, so you can treat the products with your technology. And then we have been in contact with Livsmedelsverket, and they have told us that the technology is allowed to use, so there shouldn't be any problem. Therefore, we want to bring up OptiFreeze segment this year, and we want to get in more in contacts with the customers. So there are some pictures for different application areas. Here you can see mango, and apples. They were stored in the fridge for 2 weeks, and how the appearance is good for treated products while control is getting already spoiled. And for OptiDry, we can preserve the fresh-like colors and aromas much better, and also we can improve the crispness of the dried products. There is a trend now in dried products, like healthy snacks for dried fruits. That's where we were working on. And for OptiFreeze, we have been working with rucola and raspberry type of products. So when it comes to patents, we have 1 granted patent and 3 pending applications. So we are well protected when it comes to each application areas. For each application areas, we have either granted or pending applications. If you look at the board of directors and owners at OptiFreeze, here you can see the board members, and the good thing is about OptiFreeze is the main owners from the scientists, they still remain as the main owners at OptiFreeze. And Arkoroma is remaining as the main shareholder at OptiFreeze. So if we look ahead, our business goals we are estimating to sell and install 10 systems in OptiFlower segment within 3 years period. We also estimate to sell and install more OptiCept lines on other application areas. And we have made also announced the financial targets last year in November, where we expect a 5-year annual revenue growth rate is expected to reach 150%. The gross margin is expected to exceed 65%. The high gross margin expectation is mainly because the royalties are coming with 100% margin. And the company is expected to have the cash flow positive during 2020. And if we look at our technology, what we are trying to do is to explore new application areas, especially in OptiFlower segment, not be limited only with flower cuttings, but also do the cut flowers and the fruit and vegetable cuttings and other plants. And also new application areas are likely to be found with our technology. Thank you for listening. And
thank you, Eda. Give her a round of applause, perhaps. If you have a question, please raise your hand and you will get a chance to ask it. If you feel uncomfortable speaking English, post a question in Swedish and I will do my best to translate. But I'll start us off. Your current financial situation is, well, I think you had 3 million SEK or thereabouts at the end of March, and your burn rate is about 3 million SEK a quarter. Talk us through your immediate financial situation and how you're going to solve that through to positive cash flows.
So OptiFreeze is now exploring the ways of different ways of ensuring that we have the financial power to stand on. So on also Q1 report, I have mentioned that we have received the payment from our customer for the first sales. That makes our point strong. And at the moment, we are exploring different ways, so I shouldn't say more about that. But together with this Syngenta agreement, we believe that we have a strong case when it comes to the financial situation.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the audience?
Syngenta. Who is the owner of Syngenta? Where is it based?
I'll repeat the question so the TV audience get a chance to hear it. Syngenta, who is the owner and where is it based?
Syngenta is owned by Chinese company. It used to be a public company 2 years ago before they were acquired by a Chinese company. And they are located more than 90 countries. But our main contacts are located in Netherlands.
What kind of costs are you saving for your customers in the OptiFlower segment? It's cheaper transport and less waste. And how much in terms of percentages or dollars, if you like, do you save?
At the moment, OptiFreeze and Syngenta are working on a value increasing model where Syngenta is helping us a lot to how to define the increased value on products. But it's not always the increased value, but also reduce the cost of products. For example, now our customers, Syngenta, when it's time to harvest product, they are rushing with a lot of employees to harvest the product and ship it immediately. And once they arrive here, the greenhouse owners are also rushing to plant them within a day. So it's a lot of employees had to work all of a sudden. So with our technology, this can be more smoothened. Another thing that in the greenhouse, the products are growing faster, so they don't need to stay. Let's say one cutting is staying 30 days, but after OptiFreeze treatment, we can shorten these days 3-4 days more. So it's a lot of energy saving and space saving in the greenhouse. Another added value is when they have the peak season or low season, when they can't meet the demand from the market. But if they could save the products when it's high production, so they can meet the demand of the market when it's low production. Another way that now we are also trying not only the extension of shelf life, but we are also trying to impregnate, for example, hormones that will speed up the growing even faster and much better looking products. So they will get, with these treated products, they will get a larger share in the market.
Questions from the audience? Or I continue. The work you're doing together with Syngenta, you are going to sell this technology and split the royalty shares, right? But if Syngenta is one of the 5 big players, can they sell to their competitors easily? Or how does that work?
It's in the flower industry, it's quite common to pay royalties to each other, that we have understood. So even the biggest competitors are buying crops from each other. And they pay all the time royalties, so it's a common exercise to do so. And we have been in contact with the main competitors of Syngenta, and most of the time the reaction is positive. And they are also in contact with us and in Syngenta asking how we can work in this project together, how can we be part of this project. So the perception is very positive in the market.
Yeah. No one? I'll continue. You have spoken about in one other segment about conservative customers, and I suppose that's true for all of you or all of your segments. But can you talk us through how you're going to win them over? I think it was in the OptiDry segment you spoke about, mainly about conservative customers.
In that segment, we have observed that the industry is quite conservative. They don't want to apply new technologies in a night or so. Our strategy to reach them is to describe them how much energy saving is lying behind this technology. Because we have seen their dryers, and we know how big is our system. So if you compare the energy consumption on the dryers, and if you apply OptiFreeze technology, let's say you reduce the drying time 30%, 40%, then you save tremendous amount of energy in the company, which allows them to increase their capacity without applying new drying machines. So we will approach them with this, telling the facts behind the technology.
Your argument is mainly about saving costs rather than increasing selling price on account of a better product. Yeah. Question over there? Yeah.
Vi har ju stora djupfrysningsindustrier i Sverige. Vi har Felix, vi hade Felix som i sig sålt. Och där finns ju grönsaker, typ sallad eller spenat och sånt. Har ni varit i kontakt med dem?
In Sweden, we have a couple of big companies that are selling deep freeze. Is that the term in English? Deep frozen foods. Felix and Findus, among others. Have you been in contact with those companies?
With those companies, we have been in contact at the very early stage of OptiFreeze, when we didn't have the product yet. And meantime, we have changed our focus. Now our focus is more on OptiFlower. Once we reach the positive cash flow, absolutely for OptiFreeze segment, we will go back and get in contact with the companies. But for us, it's important now to focus on the project where we see the easy market for OptiFreeze technology.
One final question.
How much is one of these machines, and how many have you sold? And how much does it increase the product
Yeah. How much is one of these machines? How many of them have you sold? And what is the added costs for the consumer?
The list price of these machines is between 3.5 to 4 million Swedish kron, but it's very much depending on the product, the capacity of the machine. We have sold one system so far, and it's installed in Kenya now. It's up and running. And the third question was
the added cost for the consumer.
Yeah,
This is a process that add costs to the.
If a flower costs €1, and normally, and then the user process, does it cost €2, or will these flowers be more expensive?
It might turn out to be more expensive, but our estimation together with Syngenta is that the end user doesn't pay extra, but we reduce the production costs.
I think we have to end it there. Thank you, Eda. Give her a round of applause again.
Thank you.